effortlessly. Unbridled enthusiasm poured onto University Avenue as students celebrated deep into the Florida night. Tonight, ESPN showcases the defending champs of the hardwood. The Gators take center stage in Game 1, followed by Greg Oden of Ohio State against 4th-ranked Wisconsin live from Madison. It's a doubleheader of high-octane hoops next on Super Tuesday. This was the scene at the Gainesville, Florida airport about 40 minutes ago. Urban Meyer's troops returning to a hero's welcome tonight after a resounding win last night to carry the crown of BCS football champions. They'll be part of our scene here tonight at the O-Dome as well. And this is the O'Connell Center. And this is Super Tuesday presented by Lexus, and both those trophies now reside in Gainesville, Florida. Be it the football or basketball titles, they both live in this city. Super Tuesday presented by Lexus. Our matchup tonight, the second-ranked team in the country, the defending national champions, will take on the Razorbacks of Arkansas. Welcome, everybody, to the O-Dome. We know one thing for sure, and that's Urban Meyer's going to have to get a whole bunch of these for his football players after Billy Donovan did it a year ago. Welcome, everybody. Brad Nessler and Jimmy Dykes, along with Heather Cox. This place has been nuts for 2 nights, and I'm talking about last night for the football team, tonight for the basketball team, and it seems to carry over. At least that's what Billy Donovan thinks.
He told his club this afternoon, Brad, Florida won the football game last night because they were the most aggressive team for 4 quarters. He said, do not let Arkansas be the more aggressive team tonight. For Arkansas, they've got to withstand the energy in this building for the first 4 minutes.
Arkansas coming off a great win over Alabama. Let's take a look at the backcourts. One guy an SEC Player of the Year, and one's a preseason All-SEC performer.
Gary Irvin for Arkansas has been terrific the last few ball games. 17 assists, only 1 turnover in the last 68 minutes that he's been on the floor. Torian Green, the only Gator that plays 30 minutes a ball game. That's the importance Billy Donovan puts on his point guards.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup. Dan Heath and his Arkansas Razorbacks at 12-3 with Irvin and Beverly in the backcourt. Weems, Thomas, and Hill up front. Corey Brewer's averaging 17 the last 5 games. He joins Noah and Horford up front. Lee Humphrey and Torian Green are the backcourt. All 5 starters from the national champion Florida Gators have returned. This place had 12,000 plus in it last night to watch the football team. There'll be about 12,200 as we tip it, and we're underway in Gainesville. Tom Lopes, Bob Donato, Carl Hess, 3 of the best in the business are officials, and here we go. Beverly coming off a great game the other day in the win over Alabama with 18 points. 3 players had 18, and maybe, Jimmy, one of the most dominant performances by Arkansas in a long time.
They played as hard as any Stan Heath club has played under him in 5 years now, and defensively they were terrific.
Irvin got in some traffic and almost turned it over. Now he's down on the low block and he's got to get it back outside. 2 on the shot clock. And a 3 rattles out from Beverly, and a whistle and a foul underneath. Billy Donovan, already the jacket is off. 33-6 last year in a national championship. 240 wins, the most in Florida school history. Stan Heath, his 5th year. 73 wins at Arkansas. He's gone over the 100-win mark now in his 6th season overall as a head coach.
Key in this ball game, can Arkansas defend the Florida Bigs man on man? If you have to double down on Florida on the low post, they will light you up on the perimeter.
Torian Green penetrates and dishes back outside. Oh, the shoulder banging going on between Hartford and Hill, and a walk.
Well, that's exactly what I talked about. Can Arkansas do that for 40 minutes? Hill that time held his own one-on-one. Helped defenders did not have to rotate down. It's a good start for Arkansas defensively.
There's a little backcourt pressure from the Gators. Corey Brewer, those long arms, and he almost stole it, in fact. Well, Tom Lopes is going to say going the other way.
Boy, Brewer on the front of that press at 6'8", maybe even 6'9". Hard to get around him with that wingspan. Hard to throw over the top of him. And feet-wise, he's as quick as most guards.
Still taking time to get it in the front court. Beverly's in trouble, but he did get it across the timeline. Now they do throw it away. Humphrey, a great 3-point shooter. He's going to put up from the wing and buries it. Right on cue. 38th 3-pointer of the year for Lee victory.
Well, look at Brewer again, active with those long arms from behind as a Wolf defender. You can talk all you want to about Florida's offense, Brad. Defensively, they are as good as anyone in college basketball over the last couple of weeks.
That's probably what won them the title last year, in fact, their defense. Great combination of offensive and defensive statistics when you take a look at Florida last year and this season. Thomas, jumper is too hard and no other rebound.
All 5 guys for Florida can board and bring it. They pass the ball with great efficiency.
Torian Green all the way, and Hill blocks it. Nice job by Hill, the number 2 shot blocker in the SEC. And now running the floor, Herford's going to pick up the foul. These two teams off to great starts, both 1-0 in the SEC. Arkansas, an 88-61 win over Alabama is the largest margin of victory ever for them over a top 10 team. And Florida put it on Georgia 67-51, holding the Dogs to 51 points. That's the lowest point total to open up the season allowed by a Florida team.
When you saw Stephen Hill at that rim playing goaltender for Arkansas, he erased the layup and actually almost created what would be a turnover if you're Florida, because it triggers the break for Arkansas the other direction.
Chris Richard checks in early for Florida. Charles Thomas at the free throw line, the junior, averaging almost 13 points again. Coming off a double-double in that win over Alabama. Had a dozen and 11 rebounds. Knocks down both free throws. Opening 2 points of the ball game for the Razorbacks.
You have to honest guard Florida, and what I mean by that, all 5 guys are taking between 7 and 9 shots a ball game. You cannot help off of any of them.
Joakim Noah off the dish from Green. Beverly all the way. Doesn't care who he's going up against, and drew the foul from Noah.
Well, Florida understands sharing the basketball. They're not unselfish. That's not how I describe them. I describe them as a smart basketball team, Brad. They make the right pass at the right time to the right guy. Humphrey to Noah that time was a good example of it.
Here's Beverly, the freshman, having a great start to his first year. And he doesn't seem to get intimidated by anything, including the rowdy reptiles behind us during warm-ups tonight. He kind of smiled at him, put a little show on for him as he headed to the locker room.
He's got a motor. He's got passion. He plays the game with a smile on his face. He's the leader for Arkansas this year as a true freshman.
Charles Thomas, a cheap foul in the backcourt as the Hogs trying to go with some full-court pressure. Arkansas is going to go to its bench. Vincent Hunter will check in. So they take out Thomas at 6'8". Stan Heath puts in 6'10" junior Vincent Hunter.
Stan Heath told his club this afternoon, look, we were both 10-6 last year in the SEC. We split with Florida. We are a better team this year, even without Ferguson and Monica. Don't count us out.
Torian Green with a rainbow knocks it down. And the Gators lead 7-4. Nice pass or a good thought inside, but Noah had other ideas. Humphrey, the entry pass. Richard trying to get it down low, and maybe too unselfish there, trying to get it to Noah, and they turn it over. Irvin, pull-up jumper, not even close. And Chris Richard, the rebound.
Quick shot by Irvin counts as a turnover in Stan Heath's eyes.
And he's played a lot better in that capacity than when we saw him against Texas Tech, Jimmy. And I know you've seen these guys play in person since then.
Well, he sent a pretty strong message to Gary Irvin on the bench and said, you know, you've got to hit singles for us as a point guard. Don't hit triples and home runs, Gary Irvin. Hit singles, and number 0 in red has done that the last 4 ball games.
Joe Noah is going to go to the free throw line, a junior, averaging 12.4 points and tied for the lead in rebounds on the team at 8.3. Free throws have always been a little bit of an excursion for Joakim. 73% last year, 60% this year.
And he's right-handed, but watch the ball actually leaves from the left side of his shoulder. And he gets that ball over in the middle of his face, and it's amazing that he shoots the percentage that he does with that form.
Looks a little bit like Greg Oden shooting those free throws left-handed for Ohio State. And don't forget, Ohio State and Wisconsin, the second half of our doubleheader on Super Tuesday tonight, and that'll be a beauty in Madtown.
Right now, if you're Arkansas, you have to make Florida defend 5 or 6 passes. Make them work defensively.
Weems on the outside. Off the mark. Noah banged it off the rim, and with that got it to Torian Green. Here's Corey Brewer. Hasn't really had a touch yet. Slices inside, and Hill blocks his second shot of the night. Out of bounds to Arkansas, says Carl Hess. 8-4, Florida in front. Well, Gainesville, Florida, the new title town, with all due respect to my friends in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Both champions living here in Gainesville.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Lexus and their passionate pursuit of perfection. And in part by Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar. Eating good in the neighborhood. Applebee's.
Back in Gainesville at the scene last night was party town, and it normally is anyway, but after the national championship last night, even more so. For more on that, let's go to the third member of our team, Heather Cox. Heather?
Indeed, it is Gator Frenzy here in Titletown. Last night, over 12,000 packed here in the O-Dome to not watch basketball, but to watch football and watch that football team win the national championship. Then when it was over, they poured into the streets where many streets on campus were closed, and it was a symphony all night of cheers, car horns, and fireworks. Now, what about school? Well, actually, an email went out earlier in the week letting the professors know about the frenzy and the antics to come. In fact, even saying don't penalize the students if they don't show up to class today. I talked to professors, and they said over a third of their students didn't arrive to class today. In fact, some of the professors actually canceled school. As you saw about an hour ago, the football team arrived back in Gainesville, and they are expected to join us later today. All, of course, except for Chris Leak, who's on his way to Los Angeles, for a Jay Leno appearance.
Oh, boy. Nice. Big stuff for Chris. Great way for him to end his career. Of course, the third of those students that didn't show up, I'm sure it was the flu that kept them out of class.
I'd penalize the kids that did show up.
I would, too. Are you kidding me?
That's what I do. Common sense index has to play in on that deal.
That flu's going around the night after winning championships.
Man, those fireworks and car horns, and they kept me up till about 3 in the morning. It was quite a scene just outside our hotel all night long.
Hodge for 3, just checked in, and Walter Hodge knocks it down. He's shooting 64% from three-point land, if you can believe that.
He gets 20 minutes of ball game off the bench, so he's the most productive guy Billy Donovan has to go to.
Irvin going through a double team, and it's going to be a foul on Torian Green.
Florida leads the nation in field goal percentage, and here's why. Guys that check in off the bench, they understand shot selection, and again, look at the distribution of the basketball. That's a big that hands that basketball off at shot pocket level where Hodge just has to get it, boom, get his feet set, and let it fly.
Warner's in the lineup, too, defensively on Thomas. And a double team, nice help by Richard. Irvin in traffic, too strong off the glass, trying to battle to get his own miss. Tries it again, and he's fouled. Jimmy talked about the shot distribution of the starters, and it's just phenomenal when you look at how they share the ball.
Well, look at that. All guys, starters taking between 7 and 9 shots a ball game, and look at their shooting percentages. Humphrey at 47% is okay because he's a specialist. He's a three-point guy, and you have to look at a lot of college basketball, Brad, to find those kind of numbers for a starting lineup.
I think it's just indicative of the fact that all these guys came back. They're an unselfish group. 4 of them lived together in Green and Brewer and Noah and Herford, and they wanted to come back and see if they can defend their crown. And Billy Donovan said, hey, we're not defending anything. We're going to keep that championship trophy forever. Let's go win another one.
Whole new tournament, whole new bracket, different seeding. I like what Billy Donovan told me last night. He said, Jimmy, not one time has there been a hint from any of those guys coming back of, hey, Coach, I did you a favor by coming back.
Yeah.
Once they said I'm back, boom, Coach, you're in charge. What do I need to do?
Torian Green, 2 for 2 from the floor. Hung up in the air and knocked it down. 8-point Florida lead.
If he's not the best point guard in the country, he's certainly in the top 2 or 3. You judge point guards like you judge starting quarterbacks. Do you win big games? That's what Torian Green does for you.
13-5 Florida. Don't forget, coming up next on ESPN, Greg Oden and the number 5 Ohio State Buckeyes will take on point-ranked Wisconsin. I got a chance to see Oden in action against Illinois the other day. Great defensive player already, and when that wrist gets better, who knows how good he might be. And Orlando Tucker and the Wisconsin Badgers. He's maybe the Big Ten Player of the Year. So number 5 against number 4. And there's the matchup. Oden at 14-4, but more importantly, he altered. He blocked 5 shots against Illinois in the game I had. He must have altered 7 more, Jimmy. And then Tucker is just a great scorer, and you know that he's going to be looking to go inside and outside, and that should be a dandy. Number 5 against number 4 follows us.
Both those guys are different makers. Alondo Tucker, I interviewed him this year on the sidelines at a Wisconsin football game. I said, Alondo, most people are saying, Ohio State, the Big Ten trophy is yours. Go ahead and take it. And he said, hey, wait a minute. Wait till January the 9th. Then we can talk about who's going to get that trophy.
So he picked the day.
He knew the date. He understood. That's when the Buckeyes come to town.
McCurdy's in at the point now for Arkansas. Beverly has just 2 free throws. He's their leading scorer. Looking for help. 6 on the shot clock. Hill had it stripped. Beverly knows he's going to have to hoist a shot. Got Brewer in the air, and he drew the foul from Corey Brewer, and it's going to be 3 free throws. Pretty smart move by the freshman against one of the best defenders in college basketball. I know Corey's upset with himself, and Beverly did a great job.
Well, Beverly, again, a true freshman, but he just has a knack for how to play the game. He gets Corey Brewer off of his feet. Brewer bites on the bait and makes a mistake. We will see a team tomorrow night, the Duke Blue Devils. I think they do that as well as anyone in college basketball. The step in, the hard ball fake, get the defender to bite, and then initiate the contact, get yourself to the free throw strike.
Whoa. Beverly, 2 bricks out of 3 free throws so far, so it doesn't cost Florida anything at this point. There's what he's done so far, leading freshman in the steal and scoring category, 14.2 a ball game. See if he can get 1 out of 3. Got the third. 3 points for Beverly on 5 free throw attempts, and it cuts the lead back to 7.
Arkansas now goes to a 1-1-3 zone. It's still pretty big across that front line. You better know where Green is right now as a shooter and Hodge.
Here is Green, and he draws Vincent. All 6'10" of him. They move it around. Green gets an open 3. He's 3 for 3.
That's what I talked about. You have to know where Green is. Yes, the ball went into the gut of your defense, but if you're a perimeter defender up top, you still have to shade number 11 in white.
Torian Green off to a torrid start. 7 points on 3 shots. Beverly, great spin. Wow. Didn't get it to go, but that was a heck of a move. Underneath on the follow. Hunter can't get it. Third chance coming up. And McCurdy's going to be fouled by Hodge. Jimmy, you called it. Got to watch out for where number 11 is at all times.
Well, he has the basketball right now on the right side of your screen, but now watch after he gives it up. He does a great job of relocating off the pass. Look at this, boom, right there. Gets in vision of the passer, and look at that space the red jerseys gave him to eye the rim. But it all starts with Torian Green giving up the ball and then relocating once the ball went to the gut of the defense.
And Chris Richard, the senior out there on the wing, just that touch pass. He knew where Green was going to be and got rid of it as quick as he could for the assist. And Arkansas turns it over.
Stan Heath knows Florida is capable of putting on runs in this building. I'm talking like 8-0, 9-0, 10-0 runs.
Yep.
And if that happens, he either has to stop the game with a timeout or stop the game by getting to the free throw strike. He talked about that with his club this afternoon.
Florida has 38 runs of 8-0 or better this year. Here's Horford off the glass. Al's first basket of the ball game, and it's a 12-point lead, and Arkansas has got to be careful here. And they might get run back to Fayetteville in the first half.
Just can't get a clean look right now. The white jerseys are long and lanky and active on the defensive end.
Hunter against Noah. Nice drive. Vince Hunter's first basket. Hodge went all the way. Richard trying to clean up. And a whistle and a foul underneath. That's going to be on Darian Towns. For all the talk about Joakim Noah had he come out last year, there might have been 3 guys that were number 1 first-round draft choices, and now the argument is who's better, Noah or this kid? They play a different type of game, but as a low-post player, Horford's got the body a little bit more than Joakim does. One at 6'11", one at 6'10", but it's this guy that's got the beef underneath.
And Horford keeps Noah grounded. I mean, Horford is a steady guy on and off the floor. Noah plays with a pound-his-chest type attitude.
Right.
But together, those two personalities are awfully hard to handle.
You're talking about averaging 26 points and about 19 rebounds between the two of them a game. That one tipped in, was almost on top of the rim. And Darian Towns got up there just at the right time to tip in the rebound. Hodge playing a point now. And a pick and roll with Noah, and he threw it away. 18-10 Florida.
Taurean Green, he's one of the top 3-point guards in all of college basketball. He can set them up. He can finish just as well.
Tonight's game is available in high definition on ESPN HD, presented by Olivia. And here at the O-Dome in Gainesville, Florida, it's the Gators 18, Arkansas 10 here in this SEC battle. But don't forget, a big one in the Big Ten follows us.
College basketball alive and well.
They're not going to get a shot away. And here they come. He's feeling it.
Further down the dance. What a motion.
The upper echelon of the Big Ten following us, number 5 against number 4 from Madison. Right here, Brad Nessler, Jimmy Dykes, Heather Cox is the defending champions. The Florida Gators ranked number 2 in the country now. They're leading Arkansas by 8. Taurean Green, perfect 3-for-3 shooting, leading the team in scoring. But it's a tight-knit group there at the top. He's had 13.6. Corey Brewer, 13-1. Joakim Noah, 12-4. And Al Horford, 12-2. They spread it around. Kyrie Irving right in front of us. Joakim Noah trying to draw a charge, and it's just going to be a ball out of bounds to Arkansas.
I saw Taurean Green last night as I was jogging across campus. He was walking back to his dorm room in the middle of those 12,000 students that were coming in here for the football game. I said, "You going to want to be a part of that?" He said, "No way." I got my scouting report in my right hand, an algebra book in my left hand. I got to study, watch the game in my room before I go to the hotel. He was all about business.
Well, you know, a lot of people, Arkansas folks, were kind of hoping that maybe Florida would come in here as there's going to be a foul on Richard, his second, that maybe Florida would come in here a little bit groggy after watching the football team, and obviously Billy Donovan was going to keep them from doing any kind of party in his team. But I'm sure as close as the football and basketball teams are, all these guys watch the game.
Billy Donovan's kept them focused since last spring, and he's not going to let up now. There's a great job by Arkansas to clear out the back end. And Darian Towns walked this guy up, Brad, about another half of a step. If he doesn't walk up the floor that extra half a step, there's not room to make that over-the-top pass.
Boy, the free throws right now are not helping the cause for Arkansas. They're 71% free throw shooting team, but they're not shooting like that tonight. So the ball will be out of bounds to Florida. Their lead's been cut in half. It was 18-6, but 6 straight points by the Razorbacks have them right back in the thick of things.
You know, last year Arkansas had Ronnie Brewer and Modica, and talking about a first-round draft pick. But I think at times Arkansas was divided last year between the haves and the have-nots because of the Ronnie Brewer show a lot. Not now. They're a better team, in my opinion, than they were last year as far as TEAM is concerned.
Joakim Noah with his second foul, and he's going to sit down. A little bit frustrated. Tried to go offensively, trying to go to the glass and knocked his man down. Drew the foul. And at the 11-minute mark, he's going to have to sit maybe the rest of the half. We'll have to wait and see. Beverly a double team. He's got to get it back to Hunter. Hunter, those long legs and a long drive, and does a nice job getting to the rack to draw the foul. That's going to be on Maurice Spates. Let's get a 30 at 30 right now. Here's Reese.
All right, Brad. Hall of Fame class has been announced in the Ironman. Cal Ripken appeared on over 98% of the ballots. He is going into the Hall of Fame. So too is Tony Gwynn, a couple of the great hitters of all time. Mark McGwire did not come close to making the ballot. And Steve Kragthorpe is the new head coach at Louisville. Didn't take Cardinals long to replace Bobby Petrino. Sports Center coming up, 11 Eastern, ESPN News all the time.
All right, Reese, thanks. Keep us posted as Hunter knocks down both free throws. That means the Tulsa job is open.
Some names already floating around on that one. Larry Coker, former Miami head coach. The offensive coordinator at Arkansas, Gus Malzahn, his name has been floated around today as well. Louisville got a dandy, though, in Steve Kragthorpe.
Boy, he's done a great job.
Yes, he has. A great guy.
4-point lead is all now. Horford squares and has it rim out. Rebound comes off to Towns, and Arkansas within a basket of being within a basket.
A month ago, Irvin would have continued to seek the rim right there, but he backed it out and slowed down. He's learned to play the game about 75 miles per hour as opposed to 100.
8-0 run. Towns trying to make it 10. Short, and the rebound off to Spates. Humphrey goes around about 3 picks and leaves it for Spates for the slam.
And how about the play of Humphrey, a 3-point specialist, but he keeps that ball alive for about 6 dribbles and gets his teammate an easy dunk at the rim.
Hunter for 3. Rebound is Towns. Nice positioning. And he walked with it, trying to back in on Horford. Let's check in with Heather.
Well, Jimmy was just talking about Gary Irvin and how he'd been plagued by turnovers and decision-making prior to the Christmas break, and then just a drastic turnaround since then. The reason why, during Christmas break, he worked one-on-one with Coach watching film. He said, I saw on film that I was overthinking. Then I made a New Year's resolution. If I turn my game around, our team will win more because it starts with me. What a difference it's made over the last 2 games. 17 assists, just 1 turnover, Brad.
To go with 16-point per game average and 3.5 rebounds a game. And you saw that 1 turnover coming in the last 68 minutes. Of course, that's been added to now as we're over 10 minutes into this one.
Gary Irvin has been through this league for a couple of years at Mississippi State, so he's a veteran guy. And again, Stan Heath has tried to send the message to him, just hit singles. You look at a guy like Torian Green, as good as he is, it's not the highlight type plays that Torian Green wins ball games with. It's the right play and the smart play time and time and time again.
Foul on the low block on Stephen Hill. Hill, who's already got a couple of block shots tonight. In fact, the 2 block shots he had last year in a game against Florida put him over the single-season sophomore record for block shots for Arkansas. Here's Corey Brewer on the drive, and Hill got another one. That's his 3rd of the ball game. Number 2 shot blocker in the conference. Long 3. The outside shot's not dropping right now for Arkansas. They maybe hurried that possession a little bit. Here's Warner on the outside. He buries it. Dan Warner, he's a guy that can shoot. Irvin leaves it for Hill. Off the glass and a chance for a 3-point play.
There are 18 NBA scouts here tonight, Brad. Stephen Hill is catching the 36 eyes that are on him in that area. Defensively, he's all ready to play in that league because of that right there. 7'1", quick off his feet, and aggressive as a shot blocker, and doesn't foul a lot when he goes for blocked shots.
And on the other end, he got the feet underneath to score and a chance for a 3-point play. Well, you see, 2nd in the conference at almost 3 block shots a game. Back-to-back seasons of being the number 2 shot blocker in the SEC, and is in the same capacity right now. So 3 seasons in a row, the big guy out of Branson, Missouri, has made a living out of playing defense. Let's see if he can play offense from the free throw line, where he's only 9 of 28 this year. That's 32%. Oh, I shouldn't have spoken so quickly. That looked like 1,000% to me.
One thing Stephen Hill can do is be a better rebounder. He gets 1 rebound every 7 minutes that he's on the floor. He's 7'1". He should be a 1 rebound every 3 or 4 minutes type guy.
5-point game for the Gators. Warner and Brewer out on top. Brewer, the pull-up just inside the three-point line and up and over the backboard. Arkansas will have the ball with 8:10 to go in the half.
Arkansas has done a really good job defending the flat, high ball screen that Florida throws at people. That's one of the Florida trademarks, is a step a big out with a flat screen. Arkansas has handled that awfully well early in this game.
Irvin against Hodge. And now Brewer comes to double team. Wide open underneath as Thomas rejected out of there by Spates.
You cannot finesse finish on the inside against Florida. They're too aggressive and too big.
And a foul on Irvin as Torian Green went inside. 7 minutes, 47 seconds remaining in the first half.
The Gators are up 5. Part of the football team's in the O-Dome, and Arkansas is doing a great job of defending the flat ball screen. 21 in white. Look, he's facing directly at half court. That's a flat ball screen that really Rick Pitino brought to the college game. Arkansas wants to force the ball handler to the right. They do a nice job of forcing that ball to the right, stepping out with a hard hedge, and then recovering back to it. But that flat ball screen, Brad, where the screener is just lined up directly facing half court, that's a Rick Pitino influence that has now trickled down to the guys like Billy Donovan. It's hard to defend because you can't get on one side or the other of the guy setting the screen.
Especially when you got a guy like Hunter who's jumping out on you, who's 6'10", and he's got about a 7'2" wingspan.
Yep.
Torian Green's going to go to the free throw line. 82% free throw shooter, off from 89 from a year ago. He hasn't missed anything so far. 3 for 3 from the floor. 8 points for Torian.
I put Darren Collison at UCLA, AC Law at Texas A&M, Cameron Taylor coming up for the next game at Wisconsin. Dominique James are in that elite group, in my opinion, in that point guard slot.
Ronald Steele, Alabama.
Yep, when he's healthy.
When he's healthy.
Yep.
Here's Irvin. Hunter's already taken 1 3. Thought about another one there. If he does, he might be sitting right next to Stan.
A matchup zone for Florida.
Brewer with a steal. He does that so well. He's the leading man in that category tonight. On the season for the Gators, I should say. Florida 3 out of 4 from outside. Corey Brewer just inside the three-point stripe. And that's his first field goal.
I think he's the wild card again this year for Florida. Corey Brewer at 6'9", plays the small forward position. How many teams in the country have a guy with that skill set and that size at that position? You can count them on one hand, maybe a couple of fingers.
Great defender, and he doesn't force his offensive game. Kind of lets the game come to him in that capacity.
Can defend all 4 or 5 spots on the floor.
He just defended Stephen Hill, who gave him a big-time shot and picked up the foul.
Look at Corey Brewer. He's always a curl threat. If you take away the curl, he just pops out and knocks down a 16 or 17 footer on you. You talk about guys that play the same position as Corey Brewer in college basketball this year. Londo Tucker's only 6'5". Brandon Rush at Kansas is 6'6". Josh Shipp at UCLA is 6'5". He's a different type guy at that 3 position.
Hodge, Warner, Spates, Brewer, and Green on the floor for the Gators. 8-point lead. Brewer gets it down on the baseline. Hodge with a fadeaway 3. And a whistle and a foul underneath. Yeah, the coach is here. Heather's having a chat. Steve McClain there as well from the SID department. And Urban, you can smile now. He waited a long time last night to change expressions. But once he put both hands up in the air, pretty much everybody ran out in the streets in Gainesville and did the same thing.
I know this. Every college football coach next year when the bowl assignments are announced, they will call Urban Meyer and say, what did you do to get your team to that magic level? Because I'm telling you what, they put it on him in every area.
It's, I think, the best combination, and I've been doing this a long time, the best combination of game plan and execution put together that I maybe have ever seen. It was a clinic. For at least 3 of the 4 quarters, it was a clinic.
You know what his next responsibility or assignment should be? Bring up to someone on campus the amount of money that Nick Saban's going to get at Alabama. You know what I'm saying? That's the direction I'd go now if I'm Urban Meyer. I pulled that out of my cheat sheet.
You never know what's written into some of those contracts. Because I know guys like Bobby Stoops are happy about Nick Saban. Because some of those guys have those things in there that say, I got to be right there in the top 2 or 3.
Sure.
Three-pointer won't go for Patrick Beverly. And Arkansas is letting it slip away a little bit just when they were getting close. Warner for 3. Spates has done a nice job off the bench. Rebound, a follow. Warner misses a second time. And finally Towns gets the board for Arkansas.
But you see the play of Spates and Warner. That's what Billy Donovan has to do, is develop that bench.
There's the best feed of the day for Irvin as he got it underneath to Hunter.
Good job by Hunter at 6'10" to run with guard-like speed to be there to finish off the push of Irvin.
And here's a steal by Beverly. Great overplay and a slam on the other end. That's his first field goal. Florida turnover. So there's a 4-point swing. Just when I said Arkansas was letting it slip away, they jump right back in. They're only down 4 with 5 minutes, 1 second remaining in the half.
They beat Alabama with active, hard, quick defensive plays just like this by Beverly. They doubled up that ball in the corner, made it a soft high school Harry pass, and Beverly ran through it and gets Arkansas right back in this ball game.
Arkansas had a great game the other day. They had a season-high 25 assists and a season-low 7 turnovers. So they're very close to that 7-turnover mark already, but the one they just forced by Florida has put them right back to within 4 points in the ballgame here in the first half.
As good as Florida is, Brad, defensively, you've got to get some easy points against them, especially in this building. That's just what Patrick Beverly did for his Razorback squad. Easy points off of their defense.
And Heath, his team has gotten better, one-loss-wise, every year that he's been here. Or should I say at Fayetteville. 22-10 last year. And their 10-6 mark that Jimmy mentioned earlier, the best in conference play since 2001. Florida's only 10-6 in conference play too, but then they put an 11-game winning streak together to win the national championship. Hodge for 3. The follow, tipped twice, tipped 3 times. I don't even know who got that. Brewer or Warner. Got to get back though. Wow, did Weems get down court in a hurry.
How about that speed break up the side by Arkansas? And they give up an offensive rebound, but they run it right up the backside of Florida. Florida did not run with a purpose, heads on a swivel.
Hodge off the glass. Nice drive by Walter Hodge.
He's a key guy. 20 minutes a ball game, can play the point guard behind Green or the shooting guard behind Humphrey. In his zone, you have to tag number 21 in red. He's a 3-point shooter, as is 33 in red, Hunter.
Hunter has it stolen by Brewer again. Brewer great at that defensively. Second time he's done it tonight. 3:52 remaining. There's the coach last night with his reaction to the national championship. Second ever in Florida Gator history. He's here with us tonight.
You can't drown out our student section. Once you lost, they will put you in a new one.
All right, Reese, thanks. I thought you were going to say Digger was just going to break down. That'd be something to watch at halftime, too. 3:52. Here's the leading scorers coming in tonight. Beverly averaging 14-2 a game, and Torian Green 13-6. And Torian has 8 points. Beverly was 7.
Arkansas trails, but what Stan Heath likes in his huddle right now is the score is 29-23, so it's a low-scoring ball game. Arkansas has done a good job of stopping the action by getting to the free throw stripe, by getting some easy transition baskets, and keeping this crowd seated.
This is the most sedate I think I've seen the crowd, and I think it has something to do with
they didn't sleep last night.
They didn't sleep last night at all. Brewer got them both.
Substitution for Florida, number 11, Torian Green.
The energy on this campus last night, again, 12,000 were lined up outside about 5 o'clock, waiting to get in here. It was electric.
Wait until halftime when Coach Meyer and some of the players show up on this court. They'll wake up then. Inside, off the glass, Towns missed. Had a good move at the basket and threw it off the glass too hard.
When on the road, you have to make those easy ones in front of the rim because you're not going to get a lot of them against Florida.
Hodge and Green and Humphrey all on the floor right now for the Gators. Here's Hodge. He's not afraid to shoot. Missed just inside the three-point line. Arkansas the rebound. Lob underneath. Tough catch by Towns. And he drew the foul by Warner. Warner picks up his first. Don't forget, coming up, got a lot more college basketball. Tomorrow, Jimmy and I will be in Atlanta. Duke taking on Georgia Tech. 7 o'clock Eastern. And available in high definition on ESPN HD, presented by Staples. And then Oklahoma State and Kansas. That one coming up to Big 12 heavyweights as part of the doubleheader tomorrow.
Number 23, Jonathan Mitchell.
You want to see the top 10 this week, just watch ESPN's Family Network.
That's right. We got, what, 7 of the top 10 and about 16 of the top 20 or something like that. Towns got the second. 5 for Towns. 31-24. Joakim Noah still on the bench. Remember, he went out with his second foul very early in the game. He said we may not see him till the second half, and it looks like Billy D is thinking that. Mitchell cut off on the baseline, trying to go up and under. Got his own miss. The kick out is stolen by Irvin, and now nothing but Razorbacks all the way down court. Nice job by Gary Irvin defensively.
Again, Arkansas creating something off of their defense. They're not fluid enough in a half-court game back and forth to win on the road right now. They've got to get some easy transition points from one end to the other.
Brewer, what an up and under by Corey Brewer.
He is fearless attacking that rim, either in transition or in half-court. Absolutely fearless.
And almost got another steal.
He and Tyrus Thomas were the co-defensive players in this league last year. Brewer right on track to do it again this year for Florida.
Watch Corey Brewer on this last drive. We talk about his defense. Watch his offense.
Again, Brad, he plays the 3 position. He's 6'9", and there's just not very many on the college level that can make that play right there from the 3 position on the floor. That's what I think gets them back to the Final Four. He's the wild card, in my opinion.
Towns underneath, this time on a nice feed from Beverly. Arkansas hanging around, trailing by 5, 2 minutes left first half here at the O-Dome in Gainesville. Torian Green, pull-up jumper, got it. He hasn't missed.
That's why you want to force Torian Green to the right off of that flat ball screen, because he is terrific going to his left. Arkansas had a breakdown defensively, and it cost him 2 points.
The confidence he's going up with his jump shot right now is just phenomenal to watch. Easy one for Washington underneath.
There's the flat ball screen again. Now they force Green right, but he reads it and drags the defense with him.
Werner, a good outside shooter. Spades, boy, he's done a nice job on the board since he's come in, and he uses the left hand off the glass.
Look at this guy. There's like 3 Corey Brewers on the floor defensively.
Great feed, Irvin again. This time to Sonny Weems. It's up and down the court now. Both these teams looking like some of the cream of the crop in the SEC. Under a minute, 5-point Florida lead.
Arkansas wants to be within striking distance with 4 minutes to go.
Torian Green finally misses a shot. He was right on target. It hit the net, but it didn't go through the rim. So 51.1, and Arkansas has got a chance to cut further into the lead.
Talk about Arkansas want to be within striking distance. 4 minutes to go in the game. So this is an important possession for Arkansas right before the half. They've got a chance to go in down maybe 2 or 3 points.
It's about a 15-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Lob underneath. Oh, and Weems went up and got it.
What terrific set play call by the Arkansas staff. When they had to get a momentum bucket before the break, they drew it up and executed.
Now if they get a defensive stop, they'll really be in business. Florida's going to play for 1 here in the final 20 seconds. Great feed from Irvin to Weems on the lob. Has Arkansas as close as they've been since early in the ball game. In fact, since it was 3-0. Brewer for 3. Rebound Arkansas. They got a chance to score. Beverly. He'll take it himself. The follow by Irvin is good. What a run by Irvin first with the assist to Weems, and then the stick back on the miss by Beverly, and Arkansas is within a point at halftime.
Boy, and that will chap Billy Donovan heading to the locker room because his club right there just got out-hustled by Gary Irvin and Patrick Beverly for a critical 2 points for Arkansas.
Halftime, as you take another look, Beverly going against Brewer. Didn't get it. Light has not gone off. The follow, and there goes the light as it goes off the glass. It was good, and a good call by the officials as Arkansas is within one. Some kind of run here before halftime.
The smallest guy on the floor, Irvin, at 5'10", gets inside position. And notice, he doesn't come down. He knew he had time to get a touch and get it back up on the rim.
An 8-2 run by the Hogs before halftime. Florida has only a 1-point lead as our UPS halftime report is set with Reese and the guys. Well, in that first half, Joakim Noah played very little because of foul trouble. He's back out there to start the second half, and we are set to go. 37-36, a great run. 8-2 push by Arkansas at the end of the half has got them within a point of the number 2 team in the country on the road. Here's Noah. Immediately they go to him. Now Horford on the outside. Rebound. Brewer kept it alive somehow. And a lob underneath to Noah. And that'll wake people up.
But Brad, again, it starts with a hustle play and the length of Corey Brewer. At that 3 position, I'm not sure anyone in the country can match up with Brewer for 40 minutes.
He's done some remarkable things both offensively and defensively, and in that case, just keeping a play alive. Here he is on defense on Sonny Weems.
You've got to drive with a purpose against Florida. Weems did not drive with a purpose right there.
Irvin's got to throw one up because the shot clock goes winding down to 3, and now it's Torian Green on the run on the rebound. And all the way coast to coast. Hill off the miss. A big pile up underneath. No foul called. And back come the Razorbacks. Nice feed inside. Thomas didn't do much with it. Irvin will try it again, and this time he throws it away. And a foul out of frustration, I think, on Charles Thomas because he missed that shot underneath.
Talk about Florida's foul problems in the first half. Certainly that was one of the big storylines. The other 2 things that jump out at me, Gary Irvin for Arkansas played 19 minutes and did not have a turnover. That is huge in this ball game. And the fact that Arkansas, Brad, got to the free throw stripe 15 times. The game had to stop while Arkansas shot free throws. That's always important when you're trying to win on the road.
Brewer trying to pack it inside. And the battle going on between Hill and Horford, and it's going to be Hill with the personal foul, and that's going to be his 3rd. So Thomas and Hill, 2 big guys with 3 fouls. Here's the first half statistically. Florida, as they've been known to do pretty much all year long, 50% plus. And 3 out of 9 on 3-point field goals. Noah falling down, kept it alive with a bounce pass to Brewer. Green for 3. Brewer kept fighting in there and kept it alive. And the possession here is going to go Arkansas's way.
On the alternating possession, Arkansas basketball.
Billy Donovan has told his kids all season long, we were 10-6 last year in the league. Arkansas almost beat Florida last year in the SEC tournament in the quarterfinals. Had they won that ball game, Florida would have dropped to a 4 or 5 seed, a different bracket, a different tournament. Maybe Florida doesn't even win the national championship if they don't get by Arkansas in that tournament.
That was 74-71, the Gators in the SEC tournament after Arkansas had won at home in overtime. Nice fadeaway jumper by Charles Thomas, and that quiets the crowd as it's a 1-point game again. Horford inside Noah, missed a jam. He was a little farther away than he expected, but he keeps it alive, and Horford doesn't miss it. And Hill's got 4 fouls as well, and that's not going to help the Arkansas defensive cause.
Well, it's critical because the first shot doesn't go, but look what Noah does. He makes a play that guards only make. He comes up with loose balls, and then he makes a great pass right in front of the rim. And then the important part of that play is the 4th foul on Stephen Hill.
And not only that, but Big Al has a poster on that one, as he took Hill and the rim and everything else all the way to the floor here at O'Connell Center. A three-point play.
I talked about the uniqueness of Torrey Brewer. Noah is just as unique.
Yeah.
He gets loose balls. He can defend a driver. He can make passes like a point guard. That's unique for a 7-footer on the college level.
Irvin on a runner. Inside is Thomas. And now Horford running the court, trying to get it to Torian Green. It was a good thought. Just had a little bit too much on it, and Florida turns it over. Let's check in with Heather.
Well, Brad, I talked to Stan Heath about what they need to do, and he said absolutely the key to this game is the first 4 minutes of this second half. If we can enjoy that, we can win this game. He alluded to the first 4 minutes of the first half. He said we knew it would be emotional. They started 0 for 9. They need to do better here in these first 4 minutes.
They're hanging in, down 4, 3 minutes in. Torian Green picks up the foul. And that is Torian's first foul.
How do you stay in a ball game and not let Florida get a spurt? Make them work defensively right now. Get a high percentage look. There's a good drive and a kick. Just doesn't fall.
Three-pointer won't go. Brewer in the open court all the way.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow, that was pretty. Torrey Brewer's got 8.
Brad, I don't think not only will he be a good NBA player, I think he's got potential to be an all-star. That's a 6'9" guy in transition, fearless going towards the rim, and he can do everything else, a little bit of everything else that you want out of a player.
And Noah comes up with a steal. And then an offensive foul on Hartford as he ran over the guy who was trying to dribble around, and Al probably should have given that up a little bit sooner. But the two big guys were looking to run together. Torrey Brewer, Jimmy, he's just so fluid. I mean, this doesn't take a lot of effort right here.
No, he's 6'9". He's got, though, a couple of different gears that normally only guards have. They can shift and downshift and then, boom, go by you. Hard to guard as Brewer.
And here we are approaching that 4-minute mark that Stan talked with Heather about, and Arkansas could certainly use a bucket. On offense, they've struggled here a little bit in the early going.
Florida's in a zone. They have to stay attached to 33 in red right now. He's a three-point shooter, even at 6'10". He and Beverly can nail him.
Under 10 on the shot clock. There he is, wide open. He's going to take the three Jimmy's talking about. Missed it, but the follow by Thomas, or rather Towns, is good.
And wasn't it a good job by Towns not to get sucked over to the side of the floor where the basketball was, because he knew the ball was going to a shooter. I'll stay over there and clean up where most of the time the ball's going to go from the corner.
4-point game, a little over 4 into the second half. Brewer around a pick. Got his man up in the air. Nice job defensively by Hunter to stay with him. Here's Richard in the low block with a hook shot. Boy, he's not a bad guy to bring off the bench, huh? 6'9" senior out of Lakeland, Florida, former Mr. Basketball in the state.
And he embraces his role. This is his 118th game for Chris Richard. He has never taken a three-point shot. I love that about a big guy.
I do too. Beverly trying to feed it inside, threw it away. Costly turnover there for Arkansas.
But they haven't come from Irvin, so they haven't come on a spot on the floor where Florida can get a turnover and dunk it on the other end. That's important.
Billy Donovan wants to take a timeout, and we'll take it right there with him. Florida in front by 6. Tonight's game is available in high definition on ESPN HD, presented by Olivia. This is Game 1 of Super Tuesday's doubleheader presented by Lexus. Don't forget, it'll be Wisconsin and Ohio State to follow us. Right now, Florida leading Arkansas by 6. Jimmy, take us inside the play.
Well, to beat Florida, I think you've got to defend the flat screen, and Arkansas wants to force the ball right when that flat screen is set out top. Look what happened in the first half. They allowed Green to go to his left, and that's when he's at his best. He can drive all the way to the rim with his left, and he can pull up and get in a rhythm groove going to his left. If Florida continues to go back to that flat ball screen up top, Brad, Arkansas has to make Torian Green go to his right.
Shooting on the season, leading the country, this Florida team at 54% at 11th in the nation in three-pointers. Torian Green has 33 threes on the year. He's the leading scorer in the ballgame with 10.
Big reason why they shoot such a high percentage, though, partner, is all 5 starters have more assists than turnovers.
That's incredible.
Last year, at the end of the season, only Florida, who won the national title, and South Carolina, who won the NIT, could say that.
Isn't that something?
That's the importance of it, though.
It's Dave Odom teaching to be unselfish, and Billy Donovan likewise. And we'll see Dave Odom's team as Joakim Noah scores. We'll see them next Tuesday in Columbia. And Dave just got a contract extension after back-to-back NIT crowns. And this year they're thinking, without a doubt, NCAA. And so are these two clubs in the SEC.
And how good is this league again this year? And you're looking at 6 or 7 teams right now that have great resumes if the committee was judging them tonight.
And the ball out of bounds with 14:10 remaining in the ball game. Number 2 Florida leading Arkansas 48-40.
Coming up just after Florida and Arkansas, Londo Tucker leading the Big Ten in scoring. He's been at his best in the marquee games. Wisconsin hosting Ohio State. Tip 10 minutes after the top of the hour.
All right, Reese, thank you. Wisconsin and Ohio State. Ohio State 5, Wisconsin 4. When you take a look at the coaches poll presented by Siemens, there you see the 2 best teams in the Big Ten. One at 13-2. Wisconsin just 1 loss on its record. Florida, the one we're seeing right now, number 2 in the country, as North Carolina's moved to number 1. And they were pretty much everybody's 1 and 2 coming into the season, depending on who you paid attention to. And as Roy Williams said, you know, we got 15 league games to go. It's a long, long way from being number 1 now or being number 1 when it's all over. And that's what Florida could claim last year after going 33-6 to win the national title with their win over UCLA. And now the football team that came in here tonight, resounding win over Ohio State. So both crowns are right here in Gainesville, Florida. Noah on the baseline gives it up. And a whistle, and the foul is going to be, I think, on Hunter underneath.
Brad, just like that play, though, by Noah, how many 7-footers can get a fastball fired at him at their knees while he's going out of bounds, keep the ball in play with a nice bounce pass to his teammates?
Yep. Some of the stuff he does looks like he's a guard.
Yep. You know, Noah, earlier this year, the uniform rep came to town. He said, hey, guys, this year we've got a new uniform we're going to wait and give you guys once March Madness gets here. Joakim Noah said, we might not even get to the tournament. I don't even want to talk about those new uniforms yet. That's the message that Billy Donovan has sent to his kids, and that's how much they have embraced it. That's hard to do as a coach.
It really is, especially when you've already tasted it, and they're all returning starters, but they don't play like it. They don't play like their head ever swelled 1 centimeter from a year ago. Towns on the baseline, got the hook. Nice move by Darian Towns. Towns has got 11.
Darian Towns.
Usually you ask your bigs to score going around Florida's bigs, not over the top of them. Towns that time got 2 points over the top of Florida's defense inside.
Florida has not lost this year at home here at O'Connell Center. The O-Dome, they're 11-0. Noah on the drive. And he's going to be fouled by Darian Towns.
Now, when you force Torian Green to the right, if you're Stan Heath, you like what your club did defensively on that flat screen, but then you've got to come back and find Noah because he's the loose guy after he screens that basketball, attacking the rim.
He'll shoot 2.
Again, an odd-looking free throw, but he's 2 out of 3 with him so far tonight.
Talked about the odd-looking release. Watch him when he shoots the basketball. He's right-handed, but the ball actually comes to the left side of his body here. You want that right elbow in it. Watch this. He released it from the left side, and he's right-handed.
Got 1 of 2 again.
That's a problem.
Nine-point Florida advantage as we're under 13 minutes now. Vincent well on top's going to need some help. Hunter does get rid of it. Weems, foul by Torian Green.
Smart play by Weems because he's got a 6-inch advantage over Torian Green. He didn't settle for a jump shot. He lowered his shoulder and just drove the ball right at Green and let his size take over.
Weems, who had that resounding dunk going to the locker room at halftime to cut the lead down to 1. And he showed his hops on that alley-oop. And he had him in high school as well as a high jumper. Sonny was a 6'10" high school high jumper. That'll help you on the court a little bit. Knocks down both free throws.
When you can high jump 5 inches taller than what you are, I don't care if you're only 5'6". That's pretty darn good, isn't it?
It is. Noah finds a wide open Humphrey, and he gives it up on the baseline. Richard missed a slam. Back comes Arkansas. They got a number 4 on 3. The lob underneath. Beautiful look by Irvin to Towns.
And Gary Irvin, Brad, slowed down just at the end before he gave it up.
Downshift.
A month ago, he would have not downshifted. He would have just, boom, ran smooth over somebody. That's the improvement he's made under Stan Heath.
Humphrey, deep 3. Noah snatches the rebound and rejected, but it's goaltending on Towns. So give the basket to Joakim Noah.
Box out. Stan Heath's telling his kids, you have got to box off against Florida. A club right now that has a +10 rebound advantage every time they play.
Here's a little bit of backcourt pressure again. You always have to worry about Corey Brewer right here if Irvin gives up the basketball.
Just over a half hour away from the Big Ten showdown, Greg Oden put together big numbers this season, even with the cast on his strong hand. Ohio State and Wisconsin coming up 9:10 Eastern Time.
All right, Reese, back here in Gainesville, 53-48 as we take a look at our KFC three-point bucket storyline. Arkansas has been averaging 6.5 threes a game. They're 0 for 9. Florida, even though they're only 3 for 10, Torian Green lit it up early, and they've been averaging over 8 a game over the last 6 games. So both teams a little bit off their three-point marksmanship, but Florida's got just the best of it enough to have a 5-point lead.
It's the length that Florida can throw at you defensively, especially with a guy like Brewer. He can really cover up those three-point threats. Noah quick enough to get out even from the 5 spot to defend the threes as well.
And a steal by Arkansas. They could use a few more of those. Inside is Thomas double team. Kicked it out to Beverly, who's been quiet, but he's fouled by Hodge. That'll be the second on Hodge. So the Razorbacks keep hanging around. They really haven't been down by too much in this half, though they were down by 10 at one point. They've cut it in half, down by 5 with 11:28 to go in the ball game.
When you think about Stan Heath's ball club, the first couple of months of the season, he's playing with 3 guys on the perimeter, Weems, Beverly, and Irvin, that were not in a Razorback uniform last year.
Right.
It takes those perimeter guys time to work off of each other and mix with the bigs, and that's where they're at right now.
Beverly, a freshman. Of course, Irvin sat out after transferring from Mississippi State. And Weems came from Fort Smith Community College. Those are the 3 guys Jimmy's talking about why they weren't in uniform last year. And they're key ingredients as starters, as Weems took one in the eye, apparently. Tom Lopes is going to stop play here so Sonny can get his sight back. And while we wait on that, let's get a 30 at 30 Sports Center update. Here's Reese Davis. Reese.
All right, Brad, Hall of Fame class for next summer has been announced, and Cal Ripken, as expected, the Iron Man, elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame, along with Tony Gwynn, an 8-time winner of the National League batting title. And Steve Kragthorpe, the new head football coach at Louisville, taking over for Bobby Petrino of what might be the shortest coaching search in the history of college football. Sports Center, 11 Eastern, ESPN News all the time.
All right, Reese, thanks. Sonny Weems may have had some blood coming out of his nose, and he goes to the bench. They're tending to him over there. Arkansas will have the ball under their own basket. Thomas and Towns on that side play. Catch and the slam, and a chance for a 3-point play by Darian Towns. Nice look by Charles Thomas.
Now that's how you have to finish against Florida in this building. If you try to finesse it at the end, Noah and Horford and Brewer, they're sitting there waiting on you. If you go through their chin and to the rim, just like Towns does. Look at this. Boom. Right through the chin of Brewer and right at the rim. That's how you play on the basketball floor, especially on the road.
And he got the free throw, which was huge. 16 points for Darian Towns. And he has made it a 3-point game again with 11 to go.
And Towns is holding that right hand, trying to get himself out of the ball game. I don't know if he stung the top of it or what. Weems is already on the bench.
Inside, Horford throws his shoulder, doesn't get the basket. Arkansas's got the rebound. The score that you had graphically on the screen is squared away. The one in the arena was off. It's a 2-point game. And now It's an Arkansas lead. Can you believe that?
Arkansas put a whooping on Alabama and gained a ton of confidence from knocking off a team that's ranked number 8 in the country at the time, a very good Bama squad. They've carried that confidence into this game tonight so far.
First lead of the ball game for the Hogs, and they've got the rebound, and they're running with it. Irvin all the way. And now here comes Torian Green and Joakim Noah the other way. Lob, Noah, tough catch. He misses. Second chance, missed again. He might get a third. Humphrey from 15. Got it. You can't give Florida that many chances. But there was nobody back to help. Two guys playing against Noah, and Humphrey said, you know what? I'll take whatever you guys give me.
Exactly what you do if you're Arkansas. With the crowd back in the ball game, throw it to that low block. Here's the effort you're talking about out of Noah. Again, he makes guard plays, comes up with loose balls, quickly gets the thing back up on the rim, and look at him come back in and just snatch it from the guard. That's a 7-footer ripping the ball away from a guy that's 6'2".
Man, he plays hard.
Yes, he does.
Sits down with his team up by 1, 9:34 remaining in the ball game.
And I've seen him pound his chest during the game. I've also seen Noah pound his chest during practice. He's a competitor every single day. He doesn't do it for show.
10 points and 5 boards as he sits. Remember, he missed a lot of the first half with foul trouble. Hunter, a three-pointer, way off the mark. Kept alive, though. Towns and Thomas are keeping it alive on the glass. Towns missed the hook shot, and the Gators survive to still have a 1-point lead. Humphrey, 3. Nice rebound up high by Vincent Hunter.
Arkansas is 5 minutes away from the 4-minute mark. Stan Heath wants to get to the 4-minute mark and have a shot to win this ball game.
They survived the first 4 minutes. The middle 4 or 5, they advanced and actually took a lead. And now, as Jimmy said, 9 to go. And they want to get to the next 4-minute mark. Timeout with 8:58 remaining. Florida hanging on by a thread, 55-54. Remember, in the first half, they led by 12 at one point early in the ball game. So give Arkansas credit. As you said, the friendly confines of Bud Walton is one thing, but you come down to the O-Dome and you play Florida this hard and only trail by 1, you're right in the thick of it.
Right after the national championship was won by the football team, and this building is waiting to get electric.
Yep.
They may be a little bit tired, but again, Arkansas has stopped the game enough by going to the free throw stripe, by making Florida work defensively. They have not allowed Florida to get those spurts that you talked about in the first half.
And they have kept the rowdy reptiles sort of out of it. And Sonny Weems went out earlier. I think Heather's got more on that. Heather?
Indeed, the 6'6 junior's eye is fine, but he does indeed have a bloody nose. The training staff working diligently to try and staunch the bleeding. He won't return until they get it stopped, but they're hoping to get him back on the floor soon.
All right, Heather, thanks. And he's back out there, so he just made it right when you got done with your report. Going to the free throw line is going to be Charles Thomas.
Florida foul is on number 32. Chris Richard is third.
Chris Richard picks up his third foul. Arkansas, they've got to start making free throws now. That's been kind of a sore spot tonight. Though as a team, they've done pretty well this year. It's been a little bit spotty tonight. This guy had 2 in the first half and hit them both. Charles Thomas Jr. out of Jackson, Mississippi.
That Florida is a rhythm team. I mean, they're fluid. They like to go back and forth with a lot of rhythm. The more Arkansas stops the game at the free throw stripe, the better the chance Arkansas has to pull off an upset.
But they've got to hit the free throws.
Yes, they do.
That's what they're not doing right now. Milford on the other end connects. 3-point Florida lead. Getting to the stripe, one thing. If you don't hit them, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Gary Irvin looks over to Coach Heath.
2-3 zone. The guys in white have to know where 21 in red is right now. He's a 3-point specialist.
Here he goes. Didn't drop. Great call, Jimmy, but he didn't get the basket. He hit his last 3. At the 8-minute mark now, it's the Gators by 3. Noah getting set to come back in.
Now Arkansas is 4 minutes away from the 4-minute mark, and they're still within contact. That's all Stan Heath's thinking about on that sideline.
Horford's going to wheel and take a 15-footer and got it. His offensive game is getting a little better every year.
He affects the game, though, even when he doesn't score because of his rebounding, his defensive play. He blocks shots.
Big possession here for Arkansas. There's another timeout coming, and they'd like to score before that happens. Lob underneath. In too deep, maybe, was Towns, and he missed it. 7 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the ball game. Florida has stretched its lead over the Razorbacks to 5.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the new 2007 Lincoln Navigator and the 99-cent KFC Buffalo Snacker. Get Buffalo for $1 at KFC.
On ESPN2, West Virginia and Notre Dame coming right down to the end. Mountaineers working the offensive glass and kicking it back out to Darius Nichols for the three. But Russell Carter just answered with a bucket. 6-point lead for the Irish. It's late, guys.
All right, Reese, here on Super Tuesday, presented by Lexus. Florida hanging on to a 5-point advantage, 7:23 remaining in the second half. Don't forget, Wisconsin and Ohio State, ranked 5 and 4 in the country, are coming up next from Madison when we're finished here. But we are long from done. Arkansas actually had a lead a couple of minutes ago, 54-53. 5 straight Gator points have turned it around. Last loss to Arkansas here in Gainesville was way back in '95. Remember, the two teams split a year ago. 1-1 on its home floor, that being Arkansas. And then Florida won in the SEC tournament. Gators trying to win their 13th straight at home. That dates back to last year.
Arkansas zones out of the timeout, and they will double that basketball on the sidelines and almost get a steal.
Dangerous cross-court pass. There's a block shot by Hill again. His 4th of the night. How can they take advantage offensively? Hill trying to lob it inside. Dangerous pass into a double team. And Florida ball. Boy, you can't turn it over. You can't miss free throws. And you're not going to win on the road. Arkansas 1-3 all night. It's not been a big three-point shooting night, and both these teams are pretty good in that capacity, but hasn't been the case tonight.
Arkansas has 3 points from the three-point line. They come in getting 18. Florida has taken away one of their strengths on the offensive end.
Noah the kick out. Humphrey got his man in the air inside the three-point line. Missed the jumper. Irvin's got Beverly out in front and lobs it to Hill, who slams it home. Boy, has he had 2 beautiful alley-oop passes tonight in Irvin.
Boy, and he did it under control. But again, appreciate the effort of Stephen Hill at 7-1 to run with everybody else down the floor and be there at the rim for the finish. An effort play out of 51 in red.
Yep, and he is not a big offensive guy, but that was a huge basket. Green for 3. Buries it. Second of the night for Torian Green from outside the arc, and Florida recaptures the advantage by 6 on a three-pointer. With the basketball, Torian Green's a point guard. Without the basketball, he's a 2-guard. Exactly. Weems will try triple. Short. Noah got an easy rebound. Not the shot Arkansas needed. Humphrey gets another look from deeper. That's his style right there. 2 huge three-pointers, one by Green and one by Humphrey. The Gator backcourt has regained the advantage, and they lead by 9 with 5:36 remaining in the ball game. And you can just take a team's heart away, Jimmy, outside the arc, and Florida just did that, at least for the time being.
With back-to-back big baskets, Arkansas had a little bit of a run and a little bit of momentum going in the transition game. Irvin does a good job of just slowing down. Read what the defense gives you, and he does a great job of feeding the ball to the right side for Hill. But then there's Torian Green, a point guard with the ball, a 2-guard without the basketball. Again, this Florida ball club leads the nation in field goal percentage. They understand shot selection, and guys like Humphrey and Green can stick them on you.
Humphreys had at least 1 three-pointer in 15, now make it 16 straight games. And his second three-pointer of this night. Shows why they're 11th in the country in three-point shooting. Last 6 games, they've been on fire.
Big play in this ball game was Sonny Weems taking a quick shot. The quick shot was almost like a turnover. Florida makes him pay with a 3-point shot. That was a big swing.
A 6-point swing, if you consider the miss by Weems. Thomas driving. Nice job defensively by Horford, and the rebound by Noah. And now Beverly steals it right back from Humphrey. Irvin inside. Nice feed from Beverly.
Well, didn't Irvin do a good job of getting into the defender because he's only 5'11". If he doesn't lean into the defender, he gets that shot blocked up where the football championship trophy is.
Under 5 minutes, 65-58. Brewers man goes down. And then a late foul, I think, is going to be called on Charles Thomas. Thomas was kind of looking for a charge, and I think he might have reached over in frustration as Brewer was going by. Just kind of a reaction to going, well, wait a minute, he bumped me, and then you can't do that. Gave him one on the way by. That's his 4th foul.
Corey Brewer is going to frustrate a bunch of folks, not only in January and February, but come March. Again, I think he's the one guy that college coaches across the country, when they start really breaking down Florida, that's the guy that they fear maybe the most because he's 6'9", he plays the 3 position, and there's not a lot of guys out there versatile enough defensively to match up with this kid.
Looking for his 10th points. He's the only guy in Florida history to ever have a triple-double. Did it against Jacksonville a couple seasons back. Missed the chance to hit double figures there as he didn't get the second free throw. 8-point game as we approach 4.5.
Almost a must possession here for Arkansas.
And they didn't get it, and Noah just keeps snatching rebounds.
I said that because they're 27 seconds away from the 4-minute mark. They're trying to stay within reach.
Brewer on the drive.
And if anyone on the Florida Ball Club had a reason to go early to the NBA for financial purposes, it was Corey Brewer.
That's right.
When he came back, he sent a message to everyone else. I'm here for the true love of the college game.
Here's Noah. Drop step and a good one by Darian Towns, who's had a huge game. Finally got around Noah. Makes it an 8-point game with 3:50 to go. Corey Brewer's dad told him, don't worry about the money, even though his family of the whole group of Florida kids is the one that doesn't have any. Corey's mom's a school teacher and has to work very, very hard just to make the ends meet, I guess, around the Brewer household, if you will, whereas Joakim Noah and Torian Green, Al Horford, all their parents are either entertainers or basketball players, and Corey Brewer comes back, as Jimmy says, for the love of the game. Well, I love the way he plays the game. Florida 68, Arkansas 60.
You can't drown out us.
The most talked about freshman in the land, Greg Oden of Ohio State, faces a fierce conference battle tonight against Player of the Year candidate Orlando Tucker and the rest of the Badgers. The whole state's been talking about this game for weeks, and it's next here on ESPN. Now back to Brad.
All right, Dan, I hope you get a word in edgewise in Madison tonight. Florida here, 68, Arkansas 60. The national champs are here, whether it's basketball or football, and already the bookstore is stocked with BCS National Championship gear. Get it while it's hot. Heather, you've got more on the championship rings.
In fact, if you're looking for jewelry, don't look to the bench. You won't find any bling. If you want to see Billy Donovan's championship ring, you've got to look right here because he hasn't worn it since September 9th when it was awarded to him. He says, you know what, it's history, and the players have taken that same philosophy. A little bit more on the design. Jostens won the bid, and a gentleman named Ryan Ford is the one that designed it. Now, why is that significant? Ryan Ford was actually a teammate of Billy Donovan's at Providence and also the best man in his wedding. So he's the man that handled the 2 most significant rings in Billy's life.
Wow,
nice.
That is a great story.
Nice.
And Heather, it looks good on you, by the way. If Billy doesn't want to wear it, you might as well wear it around for a while.
One of those rings, though, is more important than the other. Let's clarify that. You and I both happily married. You know which ring we're talking about.
Right. Whistle and a foul underneath. That's a good call. And the Foul's going to be on Horford, and that is 4. And that could be big if this game gets any tighter near the end.
Billy Donovan has done a great job with his kids this year of keeping it fun. He told me yesterday that they had a tough game against Alabama Birmingham. They actually trailed most of the ball game, but they won. He walked into the locker room, and his Florida kids were going nuts about their comeback. They're genuinely excited about that win. You're talking about the national champions from last year. That's so hard for a coach to pull that off like Billy Donovan has done so far.
And then they blow Ohio State's doors off. Their only losses to Florida State, which was a little bit of a shock, and to Kansas in overtime by 2. Weems got 1 of 2. Hill goes to the floor, trying to get the rebound, and let's see what they're going to call this on. I think they're going to call it on Noah. They are. Again, it seems that every time Arkansas goes to the free throw line, they leave one that they could have had. Stephen
Hill, he's a pretty good hoss for 7 feet. And if you don't get into his knees and take his legs out from under him, he'll just move you right out of the way, and Noah had to tackle him to get him down.
I got Arkansas for about 13 out of about 22 from the free throw line, and they would love to have those 9 right now, I'll tell you that. You can't hit them all. Horford's going to be fouled. Alley-oop from Corey Brewer. And if it's on Hill, he's done. And he's already walking to the bench, he knows. Did a good job blocking shots. Got some big rebounds, and he's going to foul out with 2:49 remaining.
Brad, just that pass by Corey Brewer. You can double him up on the perimeter and chase him, but because he's 6'9", he still has vision to make that pass to the right side of the rim. That's another area that makes it so hard to defend Corey Brewer.
Brewer coming off a game against Georgia over the weekend. He had 19 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and 4 steals. So he came very close to a triple-double. He's come close twice this year, and as I mentioned, he's the only guy in Florida history that's ever had one. Horford's now got 10 on the day.
Arkansas is just a basket or 2 away from staying really in touch with Florida. They're only down 8 right now. They're under the 4-minute mark, so they're still in touch. Stan Heath just knows he might need to be about 2 or 3 points closer to really be in touch.
Beverly trying to create something. Has it slotted into the first row by Horford. Big block. His 28th of the year. He and Noah, the shot blockers, virtually identical statistics as far as points, rebounds, blocks. Those 2 guys almost exact in their statistics.
Boy, it's the depth of that Florida front line. You're talking about 4 or 5 guys, boom, that can get up and just erase what looks like is going to be an automatic 2 points.
Tipped out of bounds. .235 remaining, and the inbound will come from Thomas.
Another must possession for Arkansas right here. They've got to get points on this possession.
Beverly, well, I said he was trying to create something. He created it against the biggest guy on the floor. He's going to really be a good one. He already has a nice start as a freshman.
He's fearless too, and you're talking about Corey Brewer being fearless. Patrick Beverly is also a true freshman.
We approach 2 minutes in a 6-point game. Gators using a little bit of clock here. Out of 15 on the shot clock. Brewer slices to the rack with a left hand. Oh, Horford went way up over everybody to snatch the rebound and give him a fresh 35.
And if you don't box off with strength, you may not get that call on the road.
Brewer lobs, tapped out of there by Beverly, and he's going to be called for the foul over the back. But probably a good foul, because if he wouldn't have swatted that away, it would have been a dunk underneath. Don't forget, the Buckeyes and the Badgers will tip off about 10 after 9 when we're done here. And Florida has had to battle tonight with their rivals from the SEC.
You haven't seen Greg Oden play, the true freshman for Ohio State. Make sure you tune in. He visited Arkansas last year, and Stan Heath said he asked more questions about the academics than anyone else that's ever visited. That's the kind of kid Greg Oden is.
And a timeout taken by Arkansas with 1:37 to go. They have a vital possession right here. Down by 6.
30-second timeout, Arkansas. Razormen.
Two big guys for Florida trying to prevent any scoring on the inside in the person of Al Horford and Joakim Noah. And I mentioned their statistics are nearly identical, both offensively as rebounders and defensively. Look at these numbers. 8.3 rebounds a game, tied. Coming in, those were the blocks. They've both added some tonight. And 12.2 and 12.4. You can't split it up any better than that.
No, and the guy on the left is a steady 24 hours a day, smooth type guy. The guy on the right plays the game by pounding his chest and pounding his jersey, but they complement each other very well. Horford keeps Noah grounded. Noah keeps Horford excited about the game.
One's smooth jazz, one's reggae.
That's nice.
That's
kind of like me and you. You're smooth jazz. I'm reggae. I'm country.
You're reggae. That's right.
Yeah, I'm country.
1:37 left. Arkansas, if they get a bucket here, it's going to be an interesting finish.
I don't think you need a 3 if you're Arkansas. You like to have a set play that says we got a 3-point shooter here. Boom, if it's not there, then here's our 2-point option. But you need to score with some efficiency and some quickness right here with 1:37 to go.
Wow, Thomas got a nice pass in, but Brewer with a defensive play not only tipped it, he tipped it off the guy taking the shot and out of bounds, and Florida gets the ball back.
I think that's what separates him from the Orlando Tuckers and Brandon Rushes and Josh Ships, Rashawn Terrys, Ron Lewis at Ohio State. The guys that play that 3 position for those Final Four type teams, I don't think they have a Corey Brewer. As good as those guys are, he's better and more versatile.
So one thing Arkansas didn't need on that possession was a turnover, and Stephen Welsh trying to go to the rack, had it knocked away by Corey Brewer, which might be the play of the game and the play that ices this Gator ball game tonight with 1:20 now to go. They're using clock again as Humphrey and Green will just weave out on top. They'll wait until they get down to about 8 before they start to make a play to the basket. And here's Torian Green at 8. The high post to Horford. Now Humphrey for 3. Kill shot right there. Irvin fouled, and he and Torian Green have a couple of words.
Was that last possession by Florida? Final Four/national championship good.
Perfect.
Shot clock winding down. Horford squares up with a big rear end screen that frees up Humphrey. Watch Horford right here. Give the ball up. Boom. Then his big keister becomes the screener for Humphrey, and a dagger is delivered by 12 in white.
Lee Humphrey's 215th career three-pointer might be the one that finishes things off. Irvin's had a good ball game tonight. I think much better than what we saw against Texas Tech earlier this year. Coming off a great game. He had 11 assists, 6 rebounds, and 18 points. SEC Player of the Week with what he did against Alabama. Tonight he's got 9. And we're just under a minute. Washington's going to check in. Some length on defense. Don't forget Ohio State, Wisconsin in the Big Ten battle. Maybe the one of the year in Madison coming up following our game. We're a minute away from ending this one. Beverly will send Torian Green to the free throw line.
I go back to what Orlando Tucker for Wisconsin told me back in September at a Wisconsin football game when I'd ask him about Ohio State, and everyone says, just give them the Big Ten trophy. He's, whoa, hold up now. You got to wait till January the 9th until we start talking about that. It's January the 9th, and that game's getting ready to come up in about 53 seconds.
Torian Green has actually missed a free throw tonight. He doesn't miss many. He caught that one in. So he's on his average right now. Neither team has shot free throws particularly well tonight. Rips the second one. 15 for Green. 9-point lead, 50 seconds left. Irvin, nice crossover dribble, trying to take Green to the rack, and does. Nice shot by Gary Irvin. And a timeout taken by Arkansas. 44.9 remaining here, 74-67, 7-point Gator lead. Let's check in with Reese Davis in the studio. Reese.
All right, Brad, Jimmy, I was wondering, either of you guys know who that fellow is with Greg Oden? That's when you know you are a superstar. Dick Vitale, Greg Oden getting set. Ohio State and Wisconsin coming up in just a few minutes.
I can just hear what Dick's telling him. I'm telling you, Greg, you look as old as me. Greg Oden is not going to turn 19 until January 22nd. You could see that if he was bald, he'd look almost as old as Dick Vitale.
Greg Oden is going to make a lot of money in the NBA, in my opinion. So is this guy, Corey Brewer. Just everything he does, the quick hands like a guard, but he's 6'9", the long link defensive plays that he makes, and he loves to defend. That's another unique quality about this guy. He absolutely loves to make plays like that and then be the facilitator and also finish acrobatically around the rim. I've said it a handful of times in this ball game. Not many teams have a guy that good with that size at that position.
And you take a look at some of the guys you mentioned earlier.
They're all really good players, and these are teams, Carolina, UCLA, Wisconsin, Kansas, that are Final Four built. Yes, Alando Tucker is averaging 20 points a game to Corey Brewer's 13. It's everything else that I consider that Terry and Ship and Tucker and Rush can or can't do is why I give Corey Brewer in Florida the advantage in that position.
Those guys that Jimmy had up there are teams that he feels are capable of making the Final Four and some of the stars that they have. But Corey certainly has been one of the stars tonight, even though statistically you open up the paper tomorrow morning, you go, well, big deal. But when you watch him play, he affects the game on both ends. Irvin's going to pick up the foul, and Santorian Green back to the free throw line.
Arkansas fouls on 0. Gary Irvin.
Torian Green, a Naismith candidate. Actually, most of the team is for Florida, either Naismith or Wooden candidates or both, including Brewer and Noah and Horford. Leading the team in scoring, 15 so far tonight. Last year, he was an 89% free throw shooter, and tonight he's had a couple rattle out on him.
The Brad Billy squad, once again, is built for a run to the Final Four. They have all the pieces. I know he's trying to develop his bench with guys like Warner and Mitchell and Richard and Hodge. But again, what the biggest part for Billy Donovan is what he's done with the attitude towards his kids. Said it in the first half. Last night he told me not one time has he thought that a kid has brought to him the message of, hey, coach, I did you a favor by coming back. And that is not easy to do with the type of talent and what they accomplished last year.
There's their banner as the national champions of a year ago. And out at Griffin Stadium, they'll have one, I'm sure, that's going to be that big for the football team. The Swamp is the place to be, as everybody's been saying around here really all year about the basketball team. It's great to be a Florida Gator. Now you add the football program to it. If you go to school here, you can brag pretty much about everything, except maybe your grades. I don't know.
Well, and I tell you the other thing, it's not beyond the realm of possibility. Florida wins it again in basketball this year, and Florida football could be back in that championship game against next year.
You never know. Coach Meyer brought out some of his seniors, but he, of course, loses Chris Leak, who's, we understand, on the way to the Jay Leno show, but brought out Tim Tebow and some of the guys that were sensational freshmen.
Sonny Weems.
Weems, a nice drive. Had a quick foul, 6-point game, 24 seconds left. That's going to do it for Thomas as well.
Brad, just a simple, high IQ play, though, out of Florida. Billy Donovan talked with me at length yesterday about how smart his kids are, just like that time. Arkansas scores, cuts it to 75-69, but what do? They grab it out of the net, boom, and throw it in to Torian Green, their best free throw shooter. Something small, something very important in a close ball game.
The two of the Razorback starters have fouled out, Thomas and Hill, two big guys, only 24 seconds remaining. But still, the free throws are very important.
What Arkansas couldn't afford to do was to come into the O-Dome tonight and get blasted and lose all that confidence and momentum that they gained from the Alabama win over the weekend.
That's not going to happen, regardless of what happens.
No, sirree.
Torian Green keeps adding to his total from the stripe. He's had two of his best games in the two losses they've had this year. Had a season-high 25 against Kansas and had 21 in the loss to Florida State. Final 20 seconds, kind of the story of the night. Steal by Noah. Either Noah or Brewer has been involved in most of those, and then a foul by Arkansas. And we're down to the final 17 seconds.
Arkansas foul is on number 33, Vincent Hunter.
So Florida is going to win its 8th straight ball game, barring some kind of major occurrence here by the Razorbacks, and they'll go to 15-2, and they'll go to 2-0 in the conference, and that'll be the 6th straight year that they have started 2-0 at least in SEC play. It's always good to get a leg up. You don't want to come out and drop those first couple of games. That puts you behind the 8 ball, and that's the situation we find ourselves in tomorrow night when we see 11th-ranked Duke at Georgia Tech, both coming off gut-wrenching losses as Duke lost to Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech lost by 1 to Clemson. So that'll mean that much more in that battle tomorrow night in Atlanta. Hope you join Jimmy and I for that one. Long 3. Wow, Stephen Welsh buries one, and it's a 5-point game, but only 5 seconds left. They could have used that a long time ago.
Just got to get it in, and there's exactly what Brewer does. Again, just the versatility of a 6'9" guy that can shake his defender and just go get himself open when you have to close the deal.
So Corey Brewer is going to go to the free throw line. 11 points tonight. That doesn't really tell the story. He's got 916 points for his career. There's a possibility that as you get a little deeper into the season, all 5 of Florida's starters could be 1,000-point-plus scorers, which you just don't find that very often. But again, it shows you that they share the basketball, and they have as they played together for the better part of 3 years already.
Billy Donovan told his kids this afternoon about 2:30, learn the lesson from our football team last night. Florida football was the more aggressive team for 4 quarters, and that's why we won. Don't let Arkansas out-effort you tonight. I think the effort was pretty even by both ball clubs.
It was. Irvin misses the 3 at the buzzer, 79-72. As the Gators go to 15-2, the Razorbacks will fall to 12-4. That's going to wrap up the matchup from the O-Dome. For Jimmy Dykes, Heather Cox, Brad Nessler saying so long. Let's send it to Madtown. Dan Shulman and Dick Vitale in the gang. Guys.